It's the Polo Podcast.
Buenos días, mi gente. Aquí estamos con Polo Reef y Biota y vamos a estar hablando de los peces criados en cautiverio. We're messing with you, Andrew.
Ay, ay, ay. Polo Reef Podcast. All you guys, we have a very special guest here, Manuel from Biota. Here's your guy. He came to be with us all the way from
Palau.
Palau,
It's a pleasure to be here.
That's a long
which
trip,
is
man.
spectacular.
30 hours
Really
flight. 30
really
hours flight
honored.
to be here with you, and
Really
it's a
nice.
pleasure. It's a real pleasure.
And I promise you that I will, on Tuesday when you come to the house, I'll make up some of those hours too.
I'm excited to see
I hope
your tank.
I hope the market's okay to me that day.
Let's hope, right?
Yeah.
I'm excited to see your tank.
Okay.
So
good.
you're the man that runs everything in Biota. You wear a lot of hats. There's a lot going on. Give us the inside scoop. Tell us a little bit about yourself, your experience in the industry, and yeah, let's meet
Okay.
Manu.
Well, Biota is so many people. I'm probably the person who is overseeing what we are doing. But myself, I'm Spanish. I'm working in Biota since 4 years. I started as the Biota Palau general manager, and I accepted the position for general manager of the Biota group in 2022. And I started with aquariums like many of us with 6 years old.
Yeah.
Studied biology. I started working in public aquariums, freshwater, marine. I ended as a curator. I had my own stores. I work in wholesales. So I
did it
touched
all, man.
everything. I believe you always want to keep going and trying to grow in this business.
Yeah.
And one day I got the opportunity to go to Palau and start working for Biota and thinking, I can do it something different. And I said, let's go.
The rest is
Who
history.
did you go with?
When I was in Spain, I was single, but I had, of course, a life in Spain. My family is from there. I had my house, I had my car,
Right.
my Harley Davidson.
Right, but how did you convince? Did you have to move with anybody to Palau or just yourself?
I just moved myself. Yeah.
Okay, that makes it easier.
And the dog?
The dog is in Palau now. I have my Palau
there you
dog.
Dogs in
But,
Palau. Does
yeah.
it like the beach and the heat?
Oh, you should. It's swimming around the beach,
wow.
on the boats. It's in the facility. I think she can breathe fish.
What a miserable life. You have to work in Palau. I feel so sorry for you, man.
Yeah, it's tough.
Damn.
sometimes. I'm sorry.
I can see it, right? You look stressed.
Yeah.
So what is it about Palau in general? A lot of fish breeding and ornamental fish breeding has happened there. Why? Is it the government's? Are you comfortable with the government there? Is that a good thing that your facilities are there? In fact, why don't you walk us through the Biota structure?
Okay, I think we can do that. So, Biota started with Palau in 2012. So, Biota, the facility was a rabbit fish farm for food. It was,
Oh, wow.
it was aquaculture for food security. So, we leased the property, and then we started with an idea. So, Palau
Right.
started with Mandarin fish. It was the first fish we think, like, we need to breed this one because we all want it. And
Everybody wants it, but they're difficult.
but they don't eat
they're
when you
wild
get them
caught.
from the wild. So it was the first fish we started with. So Biota was a dream, and we got good partners that they also had that dream to do something meaningful. And they invested in Biota to change the world of the aquariums.
Who's the
That's
main
awesome.
investor in Biota?
The main investor is Carsten Buschkuhl. Buschkuhl is
that
a German investor.
German investor?
German investor. He's with Biota since 2014.
Okay.
And he's the person who is behind our business financially,
Right.
just to do something very meaningful in his life and
Carry
say
the vision.
educational and bring. His dream is to bring an aquarium to every school, so we are able to teach the kids
Right.
ocean conservation. So that is how we started.
Very much aligned with
That
Polo
is his
Reef.
plan. He really wants to do that, and we always try like, okay, we will, but first we need to breed fish,
Right.
so we can keep the operations up.
How long has Biota been around for? When was it?
2012, Biota
2012.
started. Yeah,
Okay, yeah.
that's
some time.
correct.
Tell us how the Flowchart works. The fish get flown in from
Yeah.
Tell us, Palau, Hawaii, North Carolina, Florida, right?
correct.
That's it?
That is the 4 facilities. Biota
Okay.
has.
How do they work?
So we have 3 farms that they are Palau, Hawaii, and North Carolina. In each facility, we produce different things. For example, in Palau, we produce the mandarins, we produce
Right.
coral beauties, we produce, or corals, we produce the clams. In Hawaii, all known, we breed the famous yellow tang.
Yellow tangs.
We are breeding hippo tangs in Hawaii too, potters recently. And in North Carolina, we are breeding with Todd Gardner, we are breeding the young guys, we are breeding peppermint shrimps, we are breeding a whole lot of gobies, berchias, just other stuff. Yeah. So what we do is we fly all the fish to the facility in Florida. That is the wholesale distribution. So we have our own website. People know they can buy our fish, but we also have wholesales. We can sell to the stores in the US. And we also have distribution to Asia, Europe.
Oh, wow.
We export also yellow tanks and everything to other countries and continents. Yeah.
Interesting. I did not know that.
That's how we work. All the facilities ship to Florida. Florida distribute to other places.
It's my hometown.
Yeah.
I'm just tracking the money and the revenue just for a second. If
He's a numbers guy.
I just want to understand. So if you get to Florida, it's almost home in someone's tank at some point.
That is correct.
Correct?
Yeah.
It's about to go out.
But it's got to come from. Do you lose from Hawaii to Florida or Palau to Florida? You lose fish or not really?
No, that's the amazing thing about captive breeding.
Yeah.
Is the fish are not stressed.
Okay.
So we have a very
They're easy
Low
flight.
percentage.
It's a very we actually we are below 1%.
Okay, so
Wow.
they come to Florida.
Yes.
And where in Florida is it? By Lauderdale?
In Fort Lauderdale.
Fort
Lauderdale.
Yeah.
And what do I see in Lauderdale?
Well, we are not open to public. Nobody can come
Nobody
there. We
can
have
come.
a very
Right.
strict biosecurity measures.
Right.
But you will see
Lots of
different
fish.
systems, even or fish are not mixed. So the fish from Palau, they have their own system. The fish from Hawaii, they have their own system.
For
And the fish-
biosecurity purposes.
Biosecurity purposes. So we have a huge strict control in our facilities to just avoid
You have
the
to.
problem. Yeah, the
You
problem
have
of contamination that even if they don't have anything, when you put two fish together,
Yeah.
they can create in between issues, bacterial
problems,
issues,
right.
because they are not used to
Right.
the other fish. So we always keep that very.
Why'd you even come to
we can-
Aquashella? Tell me about the Aquashella.
Aquashella, well, Biota has a booth in Aquashella.
Right.
So we always travel around
Right.
myself. I need to check the facilities.
Right.
And Aquashella was a good opportunity always to show what we do.
Right.
But the reason I'm here is to meet you, mostly. So I
that's
came
nice.
from Palau, you should.
Now, besides meeting
Fished
me,
you out
Yeah.
of Palau.
did you go to the Lauderdale facility?
Yeah, Fort
You did,
Lauderdale.
you did.
Yeah, I did
Did that,
already.
check.
So we stay 4 days.
He has his notepad. He's like, all right,
Yeah.
this got done. This is looking good.
4
You guys got to
days.
fix that.
That is correct. That is 4 days in Fort Lauderdale. We work from sales, from husbandry, from
Right.
marketing. We talk to everyone on the team.
Yeah.
From there, we then talk with North Carolina. This time, I cannot visit them, but I visited a few months ago.
Okay.
Right.
After this, and after the visit in New York, I will go to Honolulu, and I will spend 5 days in Honolulu,
poor guy.
checking our facility there. Also working with HPU, the new projects, the
Is
research.
is the Hawaiian thing only in Honolulu, or you have stuff on other islands?
We have just in Honolulu.
Just Honolulu. Okay. Now, was the Hawaii ban timed perfectly for you guys?
HPU started breeding yellow tanks in 2012, if I'm not wrong. So nothing to do with the ban.
Right.
Biota, what it is when in partnership with HPU, every month we invest capital to research how to breed species commercially available in volume, because that's what at the end what it matters. You need to produce enough fish to be able to sustain your business.
Right.
So
Yeah, you're not going to do 20.
Yeah, you breed 10 yellow
20
tanks,
fish,
it doesn't matter what
means
you are
nothing,
doing.
right.
So obviously when the ban happened, and many people think we were part of it, and it's like we don't have nothing to do with the situation. Obviously, our yellow tanks become the only available in the market.
Right.
And people always think, no, your price is because you are the only one. It's like, no, we need to invest for
Right.
6 years, a huge amount of money,
Yeah.
just to be able to breed these species. And obviously we have costs, we have people, we have 35 staff, we have rents, we have power.
I think people
And
don't
obviously
understand that. They
yeah,
just
but that
see
is
the
the important
number.
part. Like, this is not, you cannot compare the $20 yellow tank before that nobody cares if they were traveling well or they were dying or not because they were $20.
And which fish are you? Oh, we got this. We nailed this. We know the genetics. We can
We know it
really
to the
knock this
T.
out. And,
Right.
And which fish is like, oh man, they're coming out like Frankenstein's bride, and we got to go back and learn the genetics.
You guys got the Mandarins,
The
probably
Mandarin
down to the
the
down to
Mandarin
T.
is an amazing fish we are breeding. and we actually breed very good numbers of them. And our only limitation is how many eggs they can produce.
Okay.
That is our limitation with the
So
mandarins.
mandarins you got down.
Yeah, mandarins.
And they eat pellets, I love it.
And we have a high survival from the egg to the fish.
Right.
You said you nailed
The mandarins.
the mandarins.
Mandarins, yeah.
And the only complaint I hear from people are they come in small and they're afraid of like.
But they're hardy.
Yeah, they're
They're
just
small,
afraid
but
of
they're
like
strong.
going over the filters and so forth, so on. Give us an example of something that you still need.
problem childs.
Yeah, some problem childs.
Square spot antias.
Square
Square spot antias. We are breeding them already. We had
Nice.
some good batches, 15, 20, 25. And we are trying to figure out how to make them spawn in big numbers.
Okay.
Because obviously it's a harem of fish. We have big tanks with 5 males, 20 females.
Wow.
And we are getting more and more eggs. But even after the eggs, we always find some issues depending on the metamorphosis of the fish. So sometimes it's nutritional. And all the fish have different nutritional requirements when they are larvae.
Interesting.
So sometimes, as the mandarins, from 100 eggs, we can do 55 mandarins, 55%. And yes, we are right now in 0.01. And we need to obviously change that because people think, no, they release many eggs because not all of them
survive or make it.
obviously in the ocean, no.
Yeah.
But eggs are made to be a fish at the end. So if you nail and you do perfect what you need to do, you should have 100% survival, right?
Yeah, because
so
you're
it depends.
you're
You get
controlling
from
everything.
55 to 0.1, then is when you need to keep improving in what you are going to do to try to get the big numbers. So Antias is one of the fish we really want to improve and get because it's a very difficult fish from the wild to keep in your tanks. And our fish are eating pellets. That is the most amazing part.
Yeah.
But we need to produce more numbers. So that's the one we are.
How do you do that? How do you figure out what process?
Research,
Somebody's-
trial and error.
All the live food, you change lighting, you change the tanks, you change the color of the tanks. You try always to do different things to try to find a way to don't stress them.
Right.
And it depends when you lose them is when you can try to figure out what is the issue, is where it's coming from. So, yep.
Very
The
interesting.
nutritional part is interesting because in the wild they're eating so many different things. So I'm sure you guys have to constantly be tweaking or adjusting or changing the food source and
people
nutrients.
think we breed fish. No, we breed live food.
Live food, yeah.
That's what we do. If no, you don't breed fish. Yeah.
You know, and talking about the Antheas, there's so much involved to get to a point where you have a sellable product, where you have numbers that you can actually sell. And then I think people just think, oh yeah, they're breeding the fish and here they are and they're selling them, this is the price. Well, it's a little expensive, but there's so much that comes into it.
Yeah.
You know, and at the end of the day, you get a fish that's solid, strong, no diseases, no quarantine necessities. They've been eating, they're transported healthy because they're strong, and they're used to aquarium life. They don't have to adjust.
Yeah.
You know,
that
so
is correct.
It's a win-win.
Also about the size, you were talking about the size of the mandarins and the people thinking that our fish are small. That is also part of we need to ship them small, travel comfortable in the bags. So if you ship a very big fish, they will not travel relaxed, so they will already get stressed, and we don't want that in our fish. So obviously our fish, if you are thinking to put a Biota mandarin in your aquarium, if it's a huge aquarium, you must have your acclimatation box. You put it there, you feed them, and we can guarantee even if the fish you release in your tank, unless it's being eaten by a monster you can have, you will see your mandarin. Sometimes maybe not in 2 weeks, but one day it will pop up. Yeah, you will see it, and that happens constantly. We have clients like, I think my mandarin died, and
give it some time,
suddenly
it'll pop up.
2 weeks is like, I know, it's here. And you see him swimming on the tank, so it's
Yeah.
Do you guys get grants? Do you guys what do you do in the conservation world? Where is that?
That is a big part of Biota, and we don't get grants. We are a private company, so we don't have access as an NGO to grants. We are full profit
company,
so
right?
we wish we could have more grants and do the educational through grants, but we don't.
Right.
So mostly in Palau, we have agreements with government and schools. So we have all the Palau kids coming to the facility probably every week.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, they are visiting, and you see the young Palauan kids going around, and
kids.
Yeah, the Palauan kids, they are amazing. They are
awesome.
so curious about what you do because they are very used to see the reefs. So we explain to the kids what is a coral, the reef is important, why they need to protect them. It's important. But we also release thousands of rabbit fish per year. So for every fish you buy from Biota,
Oh, wow.
we are releasing 2 to the reefs because it's the food for the
So
Palauans. The rabbit fish
you're
is
repopulating the reefs with rabbit fish, and that's the food
So we
source
release
for
them
the
with the
locals.
kids. We explain aquaculture.
Food source for what?
For the locals.
For the local.
Yeah,
For
rabbit
us, it's
fish
an
is the
ornamental
food in-
fish. For them, it's their
rabbit
fish
is the
sandwich.
food in Palau.
Blackened
understand.
rabbit fish with lettuce and tomato. What do you think, Andrew?
I think a little mayonnaise and on
little
a Whopper,
spicy
on
mayo.
a Whopper burger, maybe.
The education part is great because obviously getting kids at a young age immersed or for them to understand the ecosystems, the reefs, the fish, that's a wonderful thing because as they grow, they have that mentality to protect it and they understand it better.
And so right now, Biota does how many species?
Let's say between 20 and 30.
20 and 30.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Will Biota get into angelfish, you think?
We have some already.
some, the
We
coral
have
beauties.
coral beauties
Coral
right now. We have the potter's angel.
Right.
Yeah.
We breed some flame angels.
Yeah.
We have, and some secret stuff we are trying to work with. So, yeah. Maybe soon.
Do you guys get any
Flame wrasses. Boy,
We don't have the broodstock.
you don't have the brood stock.
But we are doing the Hawaiian cleaner wrasse.
Yeah.
It's an
I
amazing
actually
fish.
have one, a little one of yours. It came like that little purple one.
I know. They told
It's
me.
my 300. It's
They
nice.
told me. They told me.
It's cute.
Probably you have one of the 5 we already bred.
Oh, it's only 5?
Yes, you have.
Oh, really?
Yeah, only 5 so far. You have
you
one
go,
of them.
man.
They told me. They told me.
We're gonna name the wrasse Manu in honor
No, no need.
Manu the wrasse.
Yeah, they told me you have one of them, so it's like, oh, I'm gonna see him.
Yeah.
How much extra costs compare the hippo tang that you raise? I know it's a matter of how many you're breeding and how many lots versus the wild one.
Okay, I think everyone can see the price right now in our website. It's $120 for the blue tang. The cost is much higher than that.
The cost is higher.
Much
you're
higher
losing,
than
you're
that.
losing money.
It's been 3 years of investment just to breed them, and we breed hundreds of them so far that will never pay yet what we invest on them. And obviously, we don't produce them in the commercial numbers we need yet. We are very close to it.
Right.
But
you're getting there.
so far the cost is much higher than what it costs.
Wow.
Yeah.
Right.
You guys only focus on pure, in other words, the fish that you find in the wild. You don't go. Biota doesn't do any kind of
Hybrids.
designer or hybrids or anything like that.
No, I don't think nobody is trying to aim for hybrids. They happen.
It just
so the
happens.
way, for example, Valley Aquarius has their own fish, they are able to mix some species.
Yeah.
In our end, it's not a priority. We don't have.
Right.
We wish to have more space and have huge tanks and can do mix.
Right.
Maybe, but at least my personal opinion, I like nature the way it is.
Right.
We have
That's
we have a
genetic.
golden Mandarin that nobody knows
Golden?
yet. A golden Mandarin we
Like
got
a
from
golden
one batch.
goose.
A
What?
golden Mandarin.
That's
Dad, I want a goose.
We have
That's
one
like a
golden,
unicorn.
from one batch. Yeah, one batch. Suddenly all the fish look the same, and suddenly one was like.
Is
what
it
that
albino
color?
or
No,
is
it's,
it
it's, gold,
hypomelanistic?
it's golden color. Yeah, it's something weird. It's still growing. It's still very small.
So there's 20 or 25 species. In a few years, you think that will go up to, you think you double? You think you get to 50?
We wish.
You wish.
We wish to keep growing and be able to breed more fish.
What's the learning curve like on a new species?
Well, we usually do. Obviously, when you decide for a new species you want to go for, you need to think about if you already have some similar species you bred before to take that
Right,
path. So
to get that
we are
information.
always choosing animals that you choose angelfish. We already bred it before. We know what we can follow.
Right.
So usually the waiting time is not just to breed. It's just to have the pair mature,
Broodstock.
happy enough to spawn in good numbers. That makes sense to set up a tank. So that is usually the waiting time is waiting for the fish to be happy and just start spawning. After that, it can be very fast. When you start a tank with the eggs, you need to think, this is 6 months until it's going to be in the store or somebody's
sellable
house.
size, right.
So you really need to be very careful what we do. You have 6 months to do mistakes and lose everything you already invest on it. So
Right,
we need to be sure that the fish we are trying to do, we can actually do it. That is important for us.
Absolutely.
Which facility right now of Biota's, where is their expansion happening?
Palau,
More
we are-
tanks, more water?
Yeah, that is a good question. So Palau, we are growing with corals. Our plan is to grow, build new rooms to keep producing corals in Palau.
Okay.
And actually, we are working now in a possible research project with Taiwan and Singapore about super corals. So they want to do
interesting.
Yeah.
They want to do sexual reproduction in Palau. So we will need to build the rooms for them.
Okay.
But mostly Hawaii is like our high-tech facility,
Right.
and the place that we can actually do commercial scale species.
Right.
So we are trying to have Hawaii as a multi-species farm. Yeah.
And you guys do corals as well and clams also, correct?
Yeah, we do corals in Palau, and clams we did before. We can produce them, but in Palau we are working with the farmers from Palau. So Palau has probably one of the most amazing clams farm funded by Japanese Taiwanese government, but they produce clams for food.
For food,
It's,
right,
the young
right.
clam is food in the Pacific.
All the
So
hobbyists right now are
they
like, no, don't meet my maximas.
Well, we
But
here
that's
mahi-mahis and
Yeah,
with
that's
clams
true.
in Palau.
That's
That's what
true.
they do. So they breed them because they don't want to collect them anymore from the ocean. They want to breed them as we breed other things for
Make it
food.
sustainable.
And what we are doing is the farmers are buying from that facility, the very small clams. They put in their cages in the ocean, and they wait
grow them
until it's
out.
commercial size that you can eat them to sell to restaurants or whatever person who wants to buy them. So we went to them and told them, this has a value also as ornamental. We can buy them much smaller. You don't need to wait 3 years to have your clam or 4 years to have your clam in commercial size.
Right.
And we just try to sell the derasa that many have is buy from the farmers in Palau. We help to the local business.
You guys are contributing to the economy then.
We
the
always
general
try to
economy.
be part of the community. We are very
That's excellent.
thankful
Yeah.
to be in Palau and they accept us as a business.
Yeah.
So we always want to work with the people from there.
With the local community.
That is correct. Yeah.
Is the Hawaii ban fluky with the yellow tang, and you guys were working on them beforehand? How do you think, are we going to have more closures and therefore we need more biotas and the price of everything's going to go up and they're going to catch you on the expense side?
Well, we already had closures in Indonesia with corals for 3 years.
Yes,
They
we
closed
have.
the whole
Yes,
market.
yes.
So we don't know what is going to happen.
Right.
We don't know even what is going to happen in Hawaii, if they will open at some point again or
Right,
not.
right.
But even if they open, we have our fish. We produce hippo tanks that we just collect them from the reefs too. And we believe we will be here even if they open or not. What can
Right.
happen with collecting around the world? I guess the animal culture in the world, the pets, they are going to the more conservation mentality. And at some point, maybe they think it's not right to take fish to put in aquariums and they will close worldwide.
Right.
When? Maybe in 10 years, maybe in 25, maybe in never.
Yeah,
we don't know.
Right,
but-
right now it's in the
But
air.
I think we are compatible markets. We are not against wild collecting. We do our own product. It's different than the wild, and we don't have anything against. Obviously, we prefer to have captive bred animals as our philosophy.
Of course.
But we are not against the ban in Hawaii. One day they open, we are here. We will be here.
It is what it is,
And we
right,
will keep
right.
working because what we do, we believe is right. So
Absolutely. And
Yeah.
to kind of close things, well, where do you see Biota in the next 5, 10 years, or where would you like to see Biota? What's the vision moving forward? Biota and the industry in general, I guess I would
yeah,
say.
I hope we keep growing in the market and
Yeah.
people keep accepting captive bred animals as the options for their aquariums. It's amazing to see many customers we have with only captive bred
Right.
fish, full tanks with angels, with corals, that not a wild single animal is in that tank and they look amazing.
Right.
So there is another way to do reefing, and I hope personally
The
we can keep
sustainable
growing, we
approach.
can keep breeding amazing animals and people
Yeah.
enjoying the captive breeding. And when you buy the fish, also feel great that that animal never touched
Wasn't
a
taken
reef,
from the
but is living
wild.
so happy in your aquarium in your own
Right,
reef.
right.
That is what we really believe.
Absolutely, man.
Good story.
And we think it's an awesome thing that you guys are doing. The conservation side, the education side, the part that affects the hobby. It's wonderful. Healthy fish without diseases. So, kudos
We
to you
try.
guys.
We appreciate
it's really
that.
amazing.
Thank you so much.
It's in its
and we need to
infancy.
say thank you to people who support Biota cause and the captive bred animals. We know it's an extra effort to have our fish because obviously they can be more expensive than the wild ones.
Right.
So we just say thank you for the support of we have, and it's growing. So we just can appreciate that.
Yeah. So now that we have Manu here, Andrew, I have a question. Do you mind if I go work remotely in Palau for a couple months?
Just to check.
Just
Check out.
You are very welcome. Just to visit.
Oh, man. Talk about a nice
We will love
office.
that.
Manu, thank you so
Thank
much.
you so much.
For flying all the way down here.
It's a pleasure.
To meet with us.
Manuel from Palau, Biota.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.